If you've been holding a number in your hand and feeling like your body has already betrayed you, this episode is from me to you. If you just got your AMH results back and your number was lower than you hoped, I want you to pause whatever you're doing and stay with me for the next few minutes, because what you're about to read online, what you might have already been told, and what you're feeling right now do not tell the full story of your fertility. Today, we're going to talk about what AMH actually means and what it cannot tell you, and what you can do if your number came back low. Whether you're trying naturally or preparing for IVF, this matters. Hi, I'm Michelle Orbitz, a fertility acupuncturist and host of the Wholesome Fertility Podcast. I'm also an ABORN Fellow and the author of The Way of Fertility. I've spent years walking women through the exact moment you may be in right now, the moment of getting a number back and wondering if it means your story is over. It does not, and let me explain. In this video, I will cover 5 things: what AMH actually is and what it measures, the difference between egg quantity and egg quality, which is the most important distinction most women never hear, what a low AMH does not mean, and the factors that can influence your number, some of which are reversible, and what to actually do if your number came back low, both from a holistic lens and a medical one. If you stay with me to the end, I will also share something you can take home with you to start supporting your body today. So AMH stands for anti-Müllerian hormone. It's a hormone produced by the small follicles in your ovaries, the ones that are in the early stages of development. When your doctor measures AMH in a blood test, what they're essentially doing is getting a snapshot of how many resting follicles you have. Here is what is important to understand. AMH is a proxy. It is an estimate. It gives your doctor a rough sense of your ovarian reserve, which is the pool of eggs you have left. Ovarian reserve is a quantity measurement. It tells you approximately how many eggs you have. It doesn't tell you how the quality of those eggs are. It doesn't tell you if you can conceive. It doesn't tell you whether your cycles are regular. It doesn't tell you anything about your hormone balance, your ovulation, your fallopian tubes, your uterine lining, or your partner's sperm health. In other words, AMH is one piece of a much larger puzzle. The reason AMH gets so much attention is because it's useful for one specific thing. It helps fertility specialists predict how many eggs you might retrieve during an IVF cycle. That is what it is primarily designed to do. If you're planning IVF, it helps your doctor know how to dose your medications. But here's the part so many women never hear. AMH has not been reliably shown to predict your chance of natural conception. Let me say that again. Your AMH level does not tell you whether you can get pregnant naturally. Research has shown this clearly. Women with low AMH can and do conceive, and I've seen this in my own clinic, as long as they're still ovulating. This is one of those moments where the number gets elevated to a verdict, when really it's just data. Now we get into the most important distinction: quantity versus quality. Quantity is how many eggs you have. Quality is whether those eggs are chromosomally healthy and capable of becoming a thriving embryo. Here is what the research has shown, and this is really important. Egg quality and egg quantity are not the same thing. You can have a high AMH and low quality eggs, or you can have a low AMH and have excellent quality eggs. The two are related, but they're not interchangeable. What actually drives egg quality is not the number on your lab report. It is the environment those eggs are developing in, the blood flow to your ovaries, the mitochondrial health of each egg cell, the nutritional status of your body, the inflammatory load that your body's experiencing, the hormonal balance, the nervous system state. And here's the hopeful part. Quality is influenceable. The 90 days before an egg is ovulated is the window of development during which the environment of your body directly affects the egg's health. I will talk more about that in future episodes, but I want you to hear this now. If you've been told your AMH is low, that does not tell you anything about the quality of the eggs you have. Not one thing. A 38-year-old woman with low AMH still has eggs, and the eggs she has are developing right now. The question is, how well are they being nourished? Let me take a few minutes and name what low AMH does not mean. Because I know that if you're watching this, you may have already gone to some dark places with a number, and I want to help bring you back. A low AMH does not mean you're infertile. It means your ovarian reserve is lower than average for your age, which is a different thing entirely. A low AMH does not mean you cannot conceive naturally. As long as you're ovulating regularly, you are capable of getting pregnant. A low AMH does not mean you are going into early menopause. It can be one indicator that is the window is shorter, but it's not a diagnosis of imminent menopause by itself. A low AMH does not mean IVF will fail. It may mean fewer eggs are retrieved per cycle, but egg quality matters more than quantity, and some women with low AMH have excellent IVF outcomes. A low AMH does not mean you're broken. This may be the most important one. You are not broken. Your body is not failing you. A lower number on a blood test is not a moral verdict on the worth you have as a woman or potential mother. I've watched so many women collapse under the weight of this number, not because the number itself determined their outcome, but because the way it was delivered left them feeling hopeless. If that is where you are right now, please know that the hopelessness is not evidence. It's a state and states shift, especially when you learn empowering information. Now let's ask about the factors that can influence your AMH number, because this is where a lot of women are surprised. Age is the biggest factor. AMH naturally declines with age. That is expected, but there are other variables too. Vitamin D status. Research has consistently shown a relationship between low vitamin D and a lower AMH. If you live in a place with limited sun exposure, or you've been indoors for most of the last few years, your vitamin D may be lower than you realize. This is correctable. Another reason might be thyroid function. Subclinical thyroid issues can affect ovarian function and AMH. A full thyroid panel, not just TSH, is worth asking for. So conditions like Hashimoto's and certain autoimmune endocrine issues can affect AMH levels. And then there's chronic stress and nervous system dysregulation. When your body is under a sustained state of fight or flight, resources are redirected away from reproduction. That does not just affect your period, it can affect the health of your follicular pool over time. Environmental toxins also play a role. Endocrine disruptors and personal care products, plastics, and certain foods can interfere with hormonal signaling. This is a slow process, but it matters. And hormonal contraception. AMH levels can appear artificially suppressed while on hormonal birth control. If you recently stopped, give your body at least 3 to 6 months to reestablish its own rhythm before trusting this number. Other medications like chemotherapy or certain medical treatments can significantly impact ovarian reserve. Some women simply have a genetic predisposition to a smaller reserve, and that is not something to judge or fix. It's information. Here's what I want you to hear. If your AMH is low, it's worth asking, what else is going on in my body? Not to chase the number, but to support the whole system that the number is reflecting. So what do you do if your number came back low? First, breathe. I know it sounds simple, but your nervous system is reading this as a threat right now, and you cannot think clearly in a threat. So take a slow, deep breath through your nose and an even slower exhale. Your body needs to know it's safe before it can hear anything else. Second, do not make big decisions from fear. A lot of women, when they get to this number, panic and move straight into aggressive IVF cycles. Sometimes that is the right call, but sometimes it's not. Give yourself a week before you commit to anything big. Third, investigate the whole picture. Get a full thyroid panel, including TSH, free T3, free T4, and thyroid antibodies. Check your vitamin D and check your iron as well. You'll also want to look into your inflammatory markers. Look at your cycle carefully. Are you ovulating? Is your luteal phase long enough? These are questions a good functional practitioner or integrative fertility doctor can help you answer. Fourth, focus on egg quality, not AMH. I'm going to keep coming back to this point because it matters. You cannot meaningfully change your AMH in most cases, but you can absolutely support the quality of the eggs that are still developing. That means nourishing your mitochondria. CoQ10 is one of the most studied supplements for this. And so is good sleep, healthy fats, adequate protein, and consistent blood sugar. It means supporting blood flow to the ovaries, acupuncture, movement, certain herbs, and stress reduction all play a role here. And caring for your nervous system. When your body feels safe, it prioritizes fertility differently. This is not woo, this is physiology. And fifth, do not do this alone. That means working with a fertility acupuncturist, a functional medicine doctor, a reproductive endocrinologist, or a combination of all of them. Find people who see you as a whole person, not a number on a chart. I want to share something with you briefly. I've had patients come to me with AMH levels in the low decimals. I'm talking really, really low. They have been told to move directly to donor eggs. They had cried in their cars in the parking lot of their fertility clinic. And some of those women, after several months of focused nervous system work, cycle support, nutritional changes, and acupuncture, went on to conceive naturally, and others through IVF. Some after being told it was statistically improbable. I'm not telling you this to promise an outcome. I cannot do that, and neither can anyone else. I'm telling you this because the number you're holding in your hand does not write your story by itself. Your story is written in what you do next, and how you care for your body, and whether you choose fear or whether you choose presence, and whether you let one number define you, or whether you meet your body with curiosity and love and ask it, what is actually happening here? If this resonated with you, I want to offer you two things. The first is a free chapter of my book, The Way of Fertility. It goes much deeper into this holistic framework and the way your body actually conceives. You can download it at michelleorovitz.com/The Way of Fertility. The link is in the description below. And the second is my top 10 fertility boosting tips ebook, which gives you a practical starting place if you want to begin supporting your body today. And that is at michelleorovitz.com/my top 10 fertility boosting tips, also linked below. If this video helped you, please give it a like, because that tells YouTube to show it to another woman who needs to hear this. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel. I post videos like this weekly, walking through the most searched and most misunderstood topics in fertility, from the lens of Chinese medicine, nervous system, science, and clinical experience. Your body is not broken. Your story is not over. And the number on your lab report is not the truth of who you are or what is possible for you. So I'll see you in the next video.